Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just filmed the first 5 minutes of this without my mic, so here's take 2. But anyway, today's video is going to be a demo review wear test on the new Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation and concealer, and that is the reason why I am completely barefaced right now, is because I'm going to be putting these products on for you in live action, live mode. And yeah, I'm going to take you throughout my day. I'm actually going to have lunch with a friend. I have to run several errands today, so I will truly be out and about, and I hope to give you at least 7 hours on how this wears. So currently it's the morning, and I'll probably be checking in with you later on throughout the afternoon and once more in the evening. I'm really excited about these products because this is not a first impression. I really wanted to test these products out for a few days, and I've been wearing them for the past 4 days in a row. So I've been mixing them with other products to see how they play with other things, and I pretty much have my mind made up. So I have a pretty well-rounded opinion, so to speak, of these products, and I'm very excited to share that with you. And if you're new to this kind of video, I love doing these kind of wear tests because it gives me a little more chance to vlog and just kind of take you throughout my day. And I will link my past wear tests / demos down below just in case you want to see more products that I've tested out. But really quickly, I want to say thank you so much for all the love on my last video. I think it is my best video yet. I am a super tiny microscopic channel, and that video, which was a what's in my bag video, I think that video is around 2,000 or so views at this point, which is crazy for me personally, and I did gain a few subscribers from that. So I want to say thank you so much truly for watching, for subscribing. I hope you stick around because we have a good time here, and I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, if you haven't already, don't forget to please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I post, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Before I get into the actual demo and application, I'd like to give you a little bit of a rundown of what these products are. I'm going to start with a foundation. Of course, this is a stick foundation. If you're familiar with the liquid version, the regular Conceal and Perfect in the pump, I really used to use that foundation quite a bit when I first started getting into makeup, but I consistently found that it was a little bit too heavy, too oily, too dewy for my oily skin. So if you're someone who has more of a dry to normal complexion, you might really like that foundation. But in my opinion, as somebody with oily skin, I just could not get that foundation to last. It would always look too heavy. It was a little bit too thick, but it was good coverage. Now, that's why I was so excited when this came out, because it claims it's more of like a matte natural finish, which I agree. And I just love how portable it is. Like, foundation sticks are so cool. You get this much product, which is decent. It's 0.46 ounces, which yes, is less than the typical 1 fluid ounce that a liquid foundation gives you, but in my opinion, I don't really know if I can quantify it to be less or the same, because this is a solid product as opposed to a liquid foundation. So the application and how much you use is going to be different every time, if that makes sense. Just to give you a few thoughts before we get started, in my opinion, this is truly medium coverage. It claims to be full. In my opinion, it is medium, but you will see that it is buildable, so that's good. It's creamy, it's really easy to blend, it has a natural finish. It comes in 20 shades, which I think isn't the worst, but it's also not the best. I had to buy this online, so I did struggle a little bit finding my shade. So according to Milani, our full coverage creamy foundation stick blends seamlessly to cover imperfections and even skin tone. This weightless stick delivers a natural matte finish that lasts up to 12 hours. The transfer and water resistant formula contains bamboo powder to absorb oil and lily extract to lighten the look of pores, available in 20 shades. Before I speak on those claims, I'm going to just kind of get started because that's probably what you're waiting for. I'm going to use like a primer that's not super mattifying, a powder that's not super mattifying, and a setting spray that's not super mattifying, just so you can see. And again, I have tested this with different combinations of all those products, so I pretty much know how it works regardless. I'm going to start by priming my face with a No Poreblem primer by Touch and Soul. It's just truly a pore minimizing primer, just to give you a smooth, even canvas. Not necessarily hydrating, not necessarily mattifying, just kind of like a good base for makeup. All right, so it's time to go in with foundation. I'm going to come in a little bit closer, and this is in the shade 245 Warm Beige. It's a little bit dark for me, but I'll make it work. So I start off with applying 3 stripes on each cheek. One here, here, And this is what I consider to be my first layer. As you can see, I have quite a bit of hyperpigmentation and acne scarring my skin if you are new here. I'm prone to scarring. When I get a pimple, when I get breakouts, usually around that time of the month, I can get rid of those pimples, so to speak, relatively shortly, but the scarring is what really gets me. My skin is very prone to scarring. And stick foundations to me just work better, especially with my oily skin, with a brush. This is the IT Cosmetics number 77 brush. I will definitely be talking about this in my January favorites, so stick around for that. It's coming at you next week. But I love this brush. But I'm just going to blend this in, and you can see it blends in relatively easy. Still have stuff peeking through. Alright, so this is one layer foundation on my face, and you can still see a lot of my hyperpigmentation peeking through. So I would actually go so far to say, if you are doing one layer, it is a light to medium coverage. You might not have as much acne scarring as I do, but in my opinion, the fact that you can still see a lot of it right here does not indicate that it is full coverage. But let's go ahead and go in with the second layer. If you are not new here, you know that I typically like going in with one layer foundation and spot concealing, but because for the sake of this video, I want to show you that it is buildable, I am going to go in with that second layer. It's still not going to give me full coverage, but I want to just be able to show you that this is something that you can layer and it doesn't look too cakey or too heavy. Alright, so here we are with two layers, and suffice it to say, I think one layer was light coverage, and now with two layers, we have medium coverage, because I can still see my hyperpigmentation peeking through, and I am going to cover that with concealer, this concealer today. But so far, this is what the foundation looks like. It was easy to blend, and I really do like it. It's just a good, natural, day-to-day foundation. I don't think it's a glam foundation. This is definitely not the foundation I would pick out for the night on the town, but if I were traveling for day-to-day for work, which is what I have been using it for, I think it serves a great purpose because it's very easy to blend, very time-friendly, and it's not too tacky even with two layers, which is something that I really do like about it. It's not one of those super dewy foundations. It kind of leaves like a natural matte to satin finish. I think this foundation would work really well for that reason for a lot of different skin types, because I'm someone who always sets my foundation, which I will, but when I touch it, it's not super tacky, which is really, really nice. However, I will say that I highly recommend setting this foundation down, because if you don't, it will transfer. It claims it's transfer resistant, but I have found that sometimes it wears off around my mouth. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go in with concealer now. This is the Conceal and Perfect Long Wear Concealer by Milani. They have the light retouch concealer that comes in like a spongy applicator, but they have finally launched ones with flat doe foot applicators. I really do like this concealer. I've paired it with lots of different foundations after I've been trying it, and I think it's really, really nice. This is in the shade 130 Light Beige. It only comes in 18 shades, which isn't the best, but in my opinion, it's pretty decent for a drugstore. It's very creamy and it blends well, but it's not too thick. You do get 0.17 fluid ounces here, and this does retail, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even tell you how much the foundation is. The foundation retails for $9.99, and the concealer retails for $8.99. I'm just going to kind of like give you a couple of drugstore / affordable comparisons. So the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer has 0.16 fluid ounces and retails for $5.99. This is a great one. The Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define retails for $7, and it contains 0.14 fluid ounces. The ColourPop Concealer has 0.14 ounces and retails for $6. And the Ulta brand concealer retails for $9 and has 0.08 fluid ounces. So relatively speaking, compared to those, the fact that you get 0.17 fluid ounces and you get it for under $9, I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck in terms of how it compares to other affordable concealers. But I love this formula. Obviously going to highlight under my eyes and show you how it spot conceals as well, because I know some people buy concealer just for highlighting. I know some people buy it just for spot concealing. So I do both, so I'm going to show you. But really quickly, it claims it's a creamy, full coverage, water-resistant makeup that instantly conceals and lasts up to 12 hours, perfect for concealing under eye circles, blemishes, and skin discoloration. Formula contains vitamin E to help replenish skin's moisture, and this is available in 18 shades. So I'm just going to go in and show you. I also really like the packaging. You don't need a lot. Look, one swipe, you have a lot. I'm just going to do 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Just going to highlight there. And this is not a super thick formula. It's not a super thin formula. It does crease, so make sure you're setting it there, but it doesn't feel heavy on the skin at all. Yet you could see with one swipe, it gave me really nice coverage. So yeah, I gotta say, off the bat, between the two of these things, I would go with the concealer. Just in my opinion, I think the concealer is a little bit better. You get a little bit more for your money, and I think it's great. So now that I look crazy with all this concealer on my face, I'm going to blend that in with my Morphe M536. Blends really well into the foundation, and I've tried it with several different foundations. It's not just the other fellow Milani product that it blends well into. It blends well into a lot of different products. All right, and now I look like I have coverage. As you can see, it blended in really nicely. You can hardly see my hyperpigmentation going on there. It works really well as an under eye highlight and a spot concealer. As you can see, this is my face right now. I'm obviously going to show you everything when I'm done in natural lighting, all that good stuff. But just so you can see right now, my skin. As you can see, it's kind of creasing right now. So I'm going to set that down with a powder. But still, my skin doesn't feel too tacky. The concealer was full coverage, but it doesn't feel heavy. I really like this concealer. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of my makeup, and I'm going to come back after I've done everything to show you my final look before I head out for my day. So I will be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back with my full face on. Obviously, I'm going to run through the products I used just so you have an idea of what's on my face. Besides the foundation, primer, and concealer, which I did with you on camera, I used the Milk Makeup Blur Powder to Set in translucent medium, Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder to set under my eyes, Wet n Wild ColorIcon Bronzer in What Shady Beaches, H&M Blush in Rosy Brown, and Jouer Highlight in Citrine. And on my eyes, I have the NYX retractable eyeliner in Deep Purple, and the Makeup Revolution and Tarte eyeshadow palettes. And yeah, oh, on my lips, I'm wearing the Bite Beauty lip crayon in the shade Glace. I don't really know, but it's a really pretty kind of like deep mauve shade, kind of tying in with the purple mauve look. And the Chella eyebrow cream in Tantalizing Taupe. And I'm just going to set my face really quickly, but before I do, I just wanted to kind of come up close to you and so you could see what it looks like before I set it down. And I'm going to be using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is not a mattifying setting mist by any means, but I never wear foundation without setting it, so I just thought I would stay true to my real process and set it down for you just so that we can have everything locked in. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start my day. I'm going to first of all show you what it looks like in natural light. So it is a little bit cloudy outside, but this is what my face looks like in natural lighting with the sun just shining through my windows right now. Give you kind of a close-up, my right side, my left side. I think it does look really nice. Again, that setting spray does a nice job of kind of melting everything together. It doesn't really do anything for longevity, which is why I usually like using that setting spray for wear tests. But yeah, this is my face. I did set it down so it feels less tacky than it did before. Hopefully it doesn't rub off. I'm going to eat, so we'll put it to the test and I'll show you how it wears around my mouth. But so far, so good. Again, not a first impression. This is something that I've been playing around with for a while. So yeah, what do you guys think? This is freshly applied, and I will be back in a little bit to show you what it's wearing like throughout the day. Alright guys, I'm at the coffee shop. Foundation still looks good. You can see like every pore. Not looking shiny yet, but I've been drinking. and also Taupe.
Taking a video, by the way. It's going to be.
How I eat when I eat. Thank you. I have a question. Sorry, is that the cookie butter French toast?
Cookie butter yes.
Ah, perfect. It's time.
Alright, so we are about, now it's like 2:30 p.m. so we're about 3.5 hours into the day / wear test, and this is so up close. But you can see I'm not oily quite yet. You can see my pores, that's great. My lipstick is all messed up because it's worn off after eating, but my foundation still looks pretty good. You can see around my chin. I don't know if it's because I've been eating. It's kind of wearing off like right here. I don't know if you can tell, but I certainly can. This is like typically the area that I find that it wears off, but this is what it looks like, guys. So it's really not bad, and it's holding up pretty well, and I've been out and about. So let me know your thoughts down below. We're about halfway through, so yeah. I'm definitely not as mad as I was before, but as I've said, this foundation imparts like a natural finish. I would say it gets more satin throughout the day, so even if you are super oily, if you set it, as I've said, I didn't use a super mattifying primer, setting spray, or powder, so I think it's doing pretty well for what it is. Obviously, my nose area could use a touch-up, but I am not going to blot today just for this video. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, so I'm here for my final check-in. As you can see, the sun is setting. It is 5 p.m. so I have had this makeup on for 7 hours at this point. So it's time to analyze it with the little natural light that we do have. So I did get a little bit oily around here, but honestly, it's really not that bad. And again, I have been out and about. I ran lots of different errands today, went from place to place. So the fact that my makeup still is holding up really well, I think is great. Around my mouth, it's faded off a little bit right here, as I showed you, I believe in like the third check-in. But overall, I think my face looks pretty good. What do you guys think? I think the foundation lasted really well. The concealer held up. There's minimal creasing. There is a little bit of creasing, as you can see. Most concealers do crease. If you have creases under your eyes, it's just the way it goes. But this is definitely significantly less noticeable than some other concealers I've experienced in the past. Overall, I would say 10 bucks for the foundation, 9 bucks for the concealer. I really like them both. If you had to just pick one, I think the concealer's a great drugstore concealer. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you do get a lot of product for the money, relatively speaking, in comparison to other affordable concealers. The foundation stick is nice. I would rate the foundation a nice solid B, just because I do not think it's full coverage at all. You really saw I had to build it up, but it'd be like a B to B plus. I don't think it's an A, but it definitely lasts really nicely, and it definitely doesn't get too oily, which I really like. The concealer, I would rate like a solid A. I really love that concealer. It's very full coverage, it's creamy. I think it's a great dupe for Tarte Shape Tape or any other high-end concealer. It performs really nicely. So yeah, you guys, there we have it, my final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this full day wear test, demo, review of this. Leave me a comment down below if you want me to try out anything else. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Mwah.